Alright, what the fuck is up, guys? I'm gonna be teaching you my favorite strategy for wins. Hell yeah, brother. Alright, this is called the liquidity sweep inside the fair value gap. I've been using it for like a month now. I've only had like one time where it's failed me. So, for example, what you look for is a fair value gap and consolidation above it, or the accumulation in the AMD, the accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And what you look for is accumulation up here, and then which is creating equal lows and liquidity inside the fair value gap, and then manipulation to the downside, sweeping out the lows inside the fair value gap, which gives the banks double amounts of orders because they're getting orders from the fair value gap and the liquidity here, and then that ends up in a really big upshoot for the past like 60 fucking days or some shit. Um, it's just
But
been.
like, why is it a big thing?
Shut up!
Like,
Sorry, guys.
no. Let me give you a point. You know how when something goes down really far and makes a fair value gap, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The reason why liquidity sweeps in fair value gaps are good is because there's like no orders placed within there,
Yeah,
right?
I already said that.
Fuck! I thought you.
Cause double
We'll go
orders,
over it
double
again.
orders.
Do it
Cause
again.
no. We're keeping this in the video. Um, yeah, as Charlie, cause Charlie wasn't listening, which you guys were, cause you guys are taking notes, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm
So
bumping
basically,
Bacardi.
so basically, there's a fair value gap, and there's orders for the banks to take. But what they also do, they create liquidity inside their fair value gap. And what that does is it means they got oh my, they got orders from the fair value gap they can fill, and orders from the liquidity inside the fair value gap they can fill, giving them a lot of fucking orders to play with. As you can see, as I was saying before Charlie interrupted, uh,
Shut up.
so Bitcoin was like going up and down for the last 60 days, accumulating fucking people going like, oh, it's going up, oh, it's going up, oh, it's going down, oh, it's going down. When I was sitting there patiently, marked out these lows in this fair value gap about a couple of weeks ago, and fucking in the middle of geocam, saw that it dipped down, took these lows, and fucking entered here. Didn't entered here. Transferred my payout funds to Bitcoin. Hehehe. Stop loss is a little low. You could have it. You could have had it like below this one. This doesn't just fucking work on a daily time. This works on like all of them, every single time frame. Like I had this trade on. Sometimes also you can take a trade off a buy to take in the liquidity, like how I did here. So like for example, there was my chart's fucking messy. Sorry guys, but there was this inverse fair value gap here on like the 4 hour or some shit, and I saw we were accumulating here. I waited for a sweep of these lows here, put a limit order, and expecting it to go up into this fair value gap, and it was a red folder news day. London was just straight accumulating, waiting for news. I could tell if fucking wanted to go up because it just swept to the downside. And also during it, because like I was freaking the fuck out during this because my stop loss originally was like here, but news was trying to stop me out and stop everyone else out, which gave me just a even better confluence for it going up because whichever way news goes, whichever way news goes, it goes the opposite direction first in order to sweep out those orders so the banks can get their orders in. And this ended up being, yeah, yesterday's earnings 1,424, total trades 1, win rate 100%, profit factor infinity. Yeah, baby. Now, like this was literally my whole last payout. I had 1,400 of 2 weeks of works. Now I'm just gonna wait and only take extremely high probable setups. Fuck, let me find. I had one on Euro. Yeah, there's one on Euro that's happening right now. You guys could we'll probably post this on Sunday or some shit. You guys could enter off this on market open. I've had this going for the past. I've had this like setup going for the past week. Marked these things out a week ago, and it's going to plan. And what happened was it swept these highs here in this massive imbalance and starting to go down. But what I think is going to happen is going to go up, down, then manipulate, sweep out these highs or whatever highs they create, and then just dump again unless it just doesn't want to. But I'm pretty sure it will. And I believe I took a trade off this here. I took a trade off this sweep here. Was it?
Does all this yapping relate back to freaking liquidity and fair value gaps?
Yeah. It does. I I took one. I took one here. What is it? This isn't exactly. It's sorta the setup, but sorta not really. It was off this fair value gap here. In this fair value gap, it already touched down like 2 or 3 times. This here was Sydney and Tokyo session, just straight accumulating. So I was gonna look for a sweep of these lows here into the fair value gap. As you can see here, London came down, took these lows just, and fucking just went up. It just pumped the entire night. Hopefully you guys use this strategy. This is my best strategy. Basically what you look for is fucking you mark out a fair value gap that has accumulation, like it's already touched in it 2 to 3 times. You have that marked out. You wait for the lows to get swept. You see how like far down it goes, and then you go for like a buy if it's like a fair value gap that goes up, or sell if it's one that goes down, and just make easy money.
It's way too long. I'm cutting this shit right now.